Hey, this is Tracy Lynn from Hot Country, and we have a very special guest, one of my good friends who always brings a smile to my face, Tyler Joe Miller. Welcome to the Hot Country Hangout.
Thanks for having me.
I feel like it's been forever, but yet we have just picked up like it was yesterday, because the last time you were in our neck of the woods was an unplugged session here in town.
Yeah.
Then you had Grey Cup.
Yeah.
We randomly bumped into each other there.
Yeah. Yeah, at one of the parties there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Parties, beer, Tyler Joe Miller, and Tracy Lynn.
Absolutely.
Like
That's
magnets.
what we do. Yeah.
Like magnets.
Yeah.
Tyler Joe Miller, you have been one busy man, I would say, in the last year, let alone year and a half.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't keep up with you on socials. I mean, you're so busy. I don't like saying this, but I mean, you really have just kicked the door down in country music, owning your spot right now. Canadian country music. Let's talk about your new song. I have been dying to know what this backstory is for Back to Drinking Whiskey.
Yeah. This one's just a story. I do incorporate some of my past relationships and stuff into songwriting content. But no, this one I wrote with Kelly Archer and Danik DePel. Danik's my producer and band Emerson Drive. And him and Kelly got together to write one day. And Kelly is better at writing tough guy sad songs than any tough guy I know. Okay. So I think also when you were asking me off air about how, like, you know, about the vulnerability and stuff in country music with men and stuff now, it's like,
yes,
a part of it might be because I'm writing with people like Kelly that is probably better at pulling out that like vulnerable side. Because
not many people in general, let alone male, female, they want to go to that vulnerability spot, like pull that out of us. And you do it with such strong emotion. Like you actually make me feel that I'm feeling like I just got dumped too, and I'm sitting at that bar drinking.
I'm sorry.
No, hey, we've all been there though. But we have all been through relationships, may them be good, bad, whatever, the ones that we have buried so deep because we don't even want to admit they even existed. But for a man to be vulnerable in country music, do you feel like this is like the new norm now? Because normally it's the girl singing about the guy that dumped her and he's a jerk and this and that. And now we have the flip side of a man saying he's kind of heartbroken. Like, you guys actually have feelings?
Yeah, we do. I think. I don't know about other people, but I know just for me, you know, when I sing songs, if it's just stories or if it's from real life experience, like I want it to be honest and believable. And the only way to make it believable is being honest. And so when I'm writing songs like this, like, yeah, it's kind of weird that, you know, you're, especially as an artist and you're putting songs out to radio and stuff, it's like a lot of people are going to hear your story and know more about you and stuff. So it is a very vulnerable thing. But I think people relate to it better when it is honest. So, and
you know, I will say, ladies, yes, we appreciate that to get the male perspective, and that we could potentially like hurt your feelings and like break your heart.
Yeah, big time. We just don't really show you guys.
Yeah, that. Tough cowboys singing about heartbreaks. I love that. Now let's take this back a little bit. Tyler Joe Miller, let's talk about what you do. You support Guatemala. Like you haven't just been singing for forever. I mean, this all started with you giving back. So I want you to take me back to this and in your involvement.
Yeah. It's something that I just love doing. I love music. Music is definitely my passion, but it kind of comes second to like humanitarian work and like just people. Like I love people. And that's, I think, a part of me wanting to relate to people through my songs too, because fans are number one. And you know, I remember growing up listening to Garth Brooks and Brad Paisley and stuff and being like, I feel like I know you guys. Right. And I want to do that with my music. But it all started, I was doing some nonprofit work down in Guatemala, and I was actually working with a church. And they were partnered in Guatemala. And we sponsored 2 villages and stuff, and we were doing work down there. And then that church stopped partnering with the organization. The organization's called Hope of Life International down there, and they do amazing. Like their heroes. They're the ones that are doing it 24/7, 365. And so it didn't sit right with me that they were not partnering with them anymore. And they were like, Tyler, we want you to go to Uganda or Greece to help with refugees there and help with over here. And I was like, why would I leave? Like we have people that are counting on us to help them help themselves.
Yeah.
And so I made a promise to myself that and our villages that like we're going to be with you until you're self-sustainable and that you guys are in a good place and you can help villages around you and that sort of thing. And so I said, no, thank you. And I started my own nonprofit. And me and two of my buddies started building this nonprofit based around the fact that we didn't see much transparency and trust with a lot of nonprofits these days. And like I wouldn't give to most organizations because I don't know where the money's going.
Because we've been groomed to think that there are bad things that happen when you give. So you've taken it upon yourself to make sure that you are giving to the people that need and you're supporting what needs to be supported.
Yeah. With the nonprofit, we're basically trying to crowdfund for humanitarian work and nonprofits around the world. But that was the big idea. But what we started doing was let's get our boots on the ground. Let's get our hands dirty in Central America. We had this connection in Guatemala. And now I have 2 tattoos on the back of my arm, actually.
Which we've seen in some pictures because we do follow you on Instagram. So I'm glad you were telling me about the meaning of this.
Yeah. So it's they say Piedra Blanca and La Laguna. Yeah. And it's both our villages became basically self-sustainable. Wow. And so me and my buddy got them tattooed on us in Antigua in Guatemala.
Wow.
And but yeah, that was like the heart of all of this was people first. And some guy from our team, Willie Woo, he's great. I still have dinner at his house sometimes. And he heard me playing guitar out on the porch one night, and he was like, I didn't know you're doing country music. And I was like, I'm not. Like, I was trying to impress that girl out there with me.
I think we heard that song.
Yeah, it worked. But he's like, well, you should be doing country music professionally. I was like, well, it's not that easy. Like, that's a big industry to get into. And so he's like, well, you want to help people? And I was like, yeah. And I'm enjoying just doing my contracting work back home and then running a nonprofit.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what if you build a platform for yourself where people not only want to hear what we have to sing, but we have to say, and you use that to influence more people to help. And I was like, okay, Willie, you got me. And so I started putting my name out there, and I was backup guitarist for a bunch of artists in BC, and I was like a backup singer for a couple of years, basically. Wow. And we started doing the festivals and shows and all that. And then, I got reached out to by MDM Recordings, and
today
they decided to take a chance on a Surrey boy like me.
I love your story, which I didn't know the first part of your story, because when we first originally met, you were just like, yeah, I was in construction and, it was a pandemic and, very humble. But I mean, you've done so much. So hard work does pay off.
It does. Yeah.
In more ways than one.
Totally. And it's with those things too. It's like with helping people, like I've made it very clear for myself that it was music for Guatemala, not Guatemala for music. Yeah. And so, because some people could use that in a way to like, hey, I do all this charity work. So
right.
Do this for me. Get me spins, get me like whatever it is. And I'm like I don't want to do that. Like I don't do that for other people. Yeah. I don't do that for myself. It's for those that are in need down there. And so,
well, there's always a story. There's always a story behind the song, behind the artist. So thank you so much for letting us into the life that we didn't get to know just quite yet. And, thank you to Willie for saying get into country music.
Yeah, thank you, Willie.
And thanks to that girl that you didn't get, because I think she gave us some good songs.
Yeah, it's true. She did.
She did. Yeah. Okay, so right now you're in the middle of a radio tour. Yeah. How's that going so far? I mean, you're all over Canada.
Yeah, we've done, we're doing coast to coast. So we did like Alberta and BC a couple weeks ago. And then I had a couple shows with Dean Brody in between there. And then, flew straight from Vancouver to Halifax and did Moncton and then made our way to Ontario. And so we still got Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and then finally home.
And then once you get home, you'll have a little bit of a break before everything starts picking up. So many events happening.
4 days. I have 4 days home, and then I fly to Quebec for a show.
Oh my gosh, 4 days. Well, then you could do a lot in 4 days.
Yeah.
Laundry,
exactly.
say hi to the family.
Yeah. Brew a beer.
Yeah. You know what? Don't worry. 4 days, enjoy them because yes, we want you back on the road so that we can see you because this summer, Boots and Hearts, Lasso, Montreal, definitely looking forward to that one. And of course, the Canadian Country Music Awards. Everybody's coming to Hamilton because you're there. You're one of our favorites.
Oh, I'll take it.
Yes, we love Tyler Joe Miller here at Hot Country. Now you're also full of surprises.
I always am.
You are. And you have surprised us lately with some like acoustic stuff. So tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah.
It's like the raw Tyler Joe. It's like we're getting the real you.
Well, it's Tyler Joe stripped down, right?
Taking the vest off, getting to know Tyler Joe. And we couldn't be happier for this because this is pretty cool. This is a pretty cool thing that you're doing.
Yeah, I love like it. I started doing music, just me and my guitar. And so I love kind of trying to bring it back to that. And we kind of, in the middle of our set live, like the band gets a beer break halfway through, and then it's just me and my pedal steel player, and we just do a couple acoustic songs. And so basically the idea was to take that and record those. And so there's one that was really special to me called I Know Jack. And I wrote this one, just me and my guitar, just on my own. And I don't think a lot of artists get to put out songs that just they wrote on their own. And I had the song before I had my record deal with MDM. And so, we recorded this one and put it out and just surprise dropped it. We're just like, oh, now the song's available today. Go check it out.
Well, you're almost like ahead of the game because a lot of artists, either they're on TikTok and they're doing dances and you're trying to get the attention of everybody and like, look at me and socials. You've taken this in a whole new direction. Like you've opened the door where you're like, this is me. Surprise. Yeah. But you got to follow me to get these little Tyler Joe Miller surprises. Yeah. That's really cool. How do you feel about this? I mean, it must be incredible to see that now this is you. This is the authentic Tyler Joe Miller that we're getting.
Yeah. I love it because it's showing a different side of me. Like there's a stuff that, a lot of people know from listening to radio and stuff, and they get the full band doing our thing. But there's a whole other side. Like I'm in Nashville quite a bit, just writing a ton, like all the time. And so I just have buckets of songs that I've written, and some other people can be interested in stuff, which is I love doing that. Like I don't care who's singing it. I just want the story to be told. But there's a couple of these songs that we really loved, and we didn't know how they were going to see the light of day. And so we decided to record just like a 3-song packaged like acoustic EP. It's just me, acoustic, steel guitar and fiddle and a little bit of keyboard and stuff in there. But and it's called Band's Packed Up because the band is packed up and there's only a few instruments left. But so we're going to drop it in May, the whole package. I think May 19th is when we're going to drop it. And
wow, a whole nother side to Tyler Joe Miller that we didn't know about, where we thought we knew who you were. Yeah. Now we're going to get another side. I look forward to that. And I love that it's just the sound, because like I said, you have a way of not only delivering the song to us that we feel like we are part of this story. And there's a lot of stories where we see ourselves in your music. Yeah. And then we go back to drinking whiskey. We get the vulnerable cowboy talking about how somebody broke his heart. Yeah. Wow. You always surprise me every time we talk, because there's always something that we get to learn even more about Tyler Joe Miller.
I'm a man of mystery,
You are. Is that the next song, Man of Mystery?
Sure could be.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. I mean, I did say on air that we should be doing a duet or a collab now. Yeah. I'm not sure how that would sound, because maybe I'm more of a backup singer. But if you could do a collab, and I mean, because you're no stranger to duets and collab, anybody, who would it be? Who would be your all-time person that you would want to collab with? Let's put it out there. I mean, you never know. Tough.
I mean,
okay, give me your top 3.
Okay, number 1, Brad Paisley. Gosh, that's tough. Cody Johnson.
Oh,
Huge
yes.
Kojo fan.
Huge.
And yeah, there's another singer. She's from Texas. Kylie Fry. She's got an unbelievable voice. And I just saw her down in Whiskey Jam in Nashville a bit ago. And I saw that she was on the bill. And I was like, I'm going. I don't care if nobody's come with me. I'm going.
Yeah.
And she's a phenomenal singer. And so she's one that she's like an up and comer. And so she's one of those people that I'm like, oh man, I'd love to sing with her.
And of course, it's always about passing the torch back, helping someone else, right?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Willie telling you should get into country music, letting other people, kind of help them along the way, not only with your non-for-profit stuff that you do. Tyler Joe Miller in studio for Hot Country. Tyler, tell us, do you have anything to say to your Hot Country fans? I mean, we've been following you. We're your number one fans here.
Yeah. Man, it's just if anything, just a thank you. Because, I mean, without the fans, there's no reason for me to be doing this. So thank you for listening in and calling in, I'm sure, and, commenting on my vest. And but
the vest, the man, the vest, the legend, the myth.
Thanks for listening to my music. And, I couldn't do it without them. So appreciate it a lot.